welcome back. Today's tutorial is mainly focused on logical volume management in Linux. In this tutorial, we shall learn how to, you know, create logical volume, how to, actually, witness it using a live demonstration. I'll be showing you how to do all these stuffs using a virtual machine. Okay, so first of all, I would like to tell you like what is LVM. So LVM is a concept in Linux which is an abbreviation of logical volume management. So you can think of LVM as like a very dynamic kind of a thing, like it's a dynamic partition or a dynamic drive. So while your system is running, you can as per the requirement of the need, as per the requirement of the system, you can resize it, create it, or reduce it as per your need. For example, if there is a drive, it has become full, and you need 10 GB, just to overcome that situation. So you can simply resize your drive and get rid of that situation. So it is kind of, you can think of it like a dynamic partitioning, dynamic drive. Okay, so it's very a useful concept in Linux. Okay, mainly I have noted out some points that we can use here. So first of all, we'll create the physical volume. Then we will create. So it mainly comprises of three steps. So creating physical volume, then creating volume group, and then creating a logical volume out of that, and then make use of that partition. Okay, so please watch this tutorial entirely, because even if you have seen the concepts of LVM, but if you watch this tutorial, you will definitely learn, and it will clear your doubts, and it will help you for your organization. Okay, fine. So we'll start with the process, and before that, I would like to introduce you to our channel. This is for self-scripting, Python, Linux, and other programming languages like Perl. So please subscribe if you haven't, and let's start the process. So I'll this is my virtual machine, so I'll just go to this virtual machine and start the process. So first of all, what you have to do is you have to create the partition. Okay, so first step is you have to make sure that you have available partition that you can use for creating LVM. So first step is we have to create the physical volume. Okay, so physical volume will be based on the partition. Okay, so that you can do using the fdisk command. Okay, so fdisk minus the drive that you have. For example, I have this drive with me, STA1. Okay, so this utility will help you, to create partition, delete partition, change the type of partition and everything. Okay, so so we'll say I'll go one by one, and we will please watch it full, okay, entirely, and let's start the process. Okay, so first of all, if you want to see the current partition table, so you just have to type P. Okay, so you see currently there are uh, three partitions available other than the boot partition. Okay, so since I'm going to show you a fresh, so I'll just delete the partition. So by default, number 4, D is to delete the partition. So I would press enter. D again. Default 3 partition number will be deleted. Again, D partition number 2 is deleted. So if I again type the partition table, you see there is only a boot partition. So I'll be using the whatever available partition space is there apart from the my boot partition. Okay, so there is a command F, capital F, to check the available partition space. Okay, so this is the first step, like to create the physical volume. Before that, you have to make sure that your drive is present, you have you have created the partitions. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so I have 977 MB space available, which is like two, like these many sectors, and each sector is of 512 bytes. Okay, so let's start and create the partition. So N is to create the new partition. So always remember, for any disk drive, you can create four partitions, primary partition. Okay, you cannot create more than four primary partition. So if you want to make five partition, then you will have to have three primary partition, and fourth one will be extended one, which will be divided into two. Okay, so like the only way to create an extended partition is to subdivide a primary partition into more parts. Okay, so so we'll create the primary partition using the default option, which is P. Okay, partition number will take two. Okay, first sector is the start point. I'll take the default, and from here, like, you have to specify the size. Either you can specify the last sector, or you can specify the like the size of the partition. So I would say M. So I would say 200 MB. Okay, so created a new partition 2 of type Linux. So by default, it'll create a partition type Linux. Okay, so again, I'll create one more partition, extend primary partition. Third is the default, which is good. Default first selector is fine, and the last selector again I can say, let's say 300 MB. Okay, okay. So now you see created a partition 3. So just type the partition table. So you can see I have created two partition uh, of LVM of type Linux. Okay, so we have still space left. You can check using the F command. So you have 477 MB left. Okay, let's create one more partition. Just see, it is by default, it is taking the extended partition, but we still have one more partition. So it is why it is giving you a default option as E, because if you want to have two extended partition at this place, you can have it. But for primary, you can have only one. Okay. So I would say I would go for primary partition. Okay. So first selector, last selector. So see, you have how many left? You can see I already chose this, and then we have these many sectors left. Okay, so you can directly say 477 MB, or you can also give the default value if you press enter. So I would just say 477 MB. Okay, so value out of range. Okay, so I would say let's say like 466 MB. Let's say 70 MB, right? That is also one of those. So created what do you say, created a partition of size. So you see, so you have to give plus then the 470, and then M is for MB. So I haven't given MB, so it is by default is taking as a KB, and you know a size is a partition is created of very small size, which is 235 KB. So like I would simply go ahead and delete that. So I would delete the partition number 4. Okay, so we still have 477 MB space left, unpartitioned space. So I would say create a new partition, primary partition, default starting sector I have chosen, and let's say I would give 476 MB. Okay, you see I have created this space. Fine. So now if I print my partition table. So I have three drives created, which is enough for my current tutorial. Okay. So at this point, the partition type is Linux, which is not good for Linux. LVM, creating LVM physical volumes, you need to change the partition type to LVM. So I would just press type T. Uh, so I would change the type of partition number 4 to LVM. Okay, so just type capital L to have a list of all the partition types available. So I would change it to 8E, which is for LVM. Okay, so I would say 8E. Okay, so done. I would again do the same for partition number 3 type E 8E. Again, change the type for partition number 2 8E. Done. So I will print the partition table. Now I have my partition types ready. Okay, of type LVM, Linux LVM. So I'm now I can start with my first step of creating the physical volumes. Okay, good. So so now what I will do is I would write the partition table and exit. But then if I write the partition table, I may have to reboot the system. Okay, but like since I'm recording, I won't reboot the system now. So I will use the existing partitions which were created earlier. But what you would do, you would write it using the W command and then quit it. Okay, so at this point I'll just quit. Okay, because I already have my partitions ready with me. So if I do fdisk minus L, so I would use those partitions only. So that I don't need to reboot at this moment. Okay, so once you do that, you have to use the W command to write the partition table, and then you may have to reboot the system to reread the partition table. Okay, so now we have the partitions ready. Now I can start and create the physical volume. So now I'll go ahead and start my first step, which is creating the physical volume. Okay, good. So let's start with the pvcreate, okay, which is my first interesting command for LVM. Okay, so pvcreate, and what it takes um, the device where you want to create the physical volume. So I would say SDA2, okay? And then you can, at the same time, you can also give SDA3, okay? So now you see physical volume is created, these two. Okay, so since I ran this command couple of times earlier, I got this error like device not found or ignored by filtering. So I would just right away I'll give you the information and solution for that. So there is a config file for LVM which is present in etc. So since I am doing this, I know it, okay, because I have done it couple of times. So I have already solved many of the errors. So I would this will help you while when you are doing it for the first time. Okay, so I have this configuration file which is read at the time of creation of physical volume. So this stores all the information like how the device will be read, like which kind of devices will be used for LVM, and all that information. Okay, so here there is a filtering. Uh, yeah, so see this one. So this filter decides which kind of devices or a pattern will be scanned while creating the physical volume. So since I'm using dev SDA 1 to 9, so this pattern I have added. This line was not there. If this line is not present, you will get that error. Like for example, I can show you like this at this moment itself. So I would just okay. So for example, if I comment this line, just imagine if this line is not there, and if I try to create this physical volume, okay. So I would get this. I may get this error like dev. So I already created 2 and 3, right? So I'll create the third or fourth one, which is SDA 4. Okay, so you see, yeah, I think okay. So now I didn't get any error. Makes sense. Okay, so maybe that filter file was not read or something like that. So I now it is already created. So dev SD4 is created. Fine. That's strange. But then it was not working for me at that time. Okay. So so anyway you have to have this filtering thing present. Okay, to enable the reading of the and accepting the device and rejecting device. Okay, so just for information you should know that. Okay, fine. Next thing is that so I created the physical volume, which is the first part is done. Okay, so we'll go ahead and create the physical volume. Okay, so vgcreate is my second command. So at any point, if you like don't know the syntax of any command, like you get stuck, so you can simply use this manual. If but being a Linux guy, you should already know that. So if you use this manual, you can know you will be able to find out the syntax, like how to write it. Okay. Anyway, so vgcreate. Okay. vgcreate, then vgname, which is your choice, and then you can include the devices that the drives that you want to have in this volume group. So volume group is nothing but clubbing all the physical volumes. Okay, then like you can think of it as a cake. Okay, volume group is nothing but a cake, which is a combination of physical volumes. Okay, so when you cut a piece out of a cake, that will become the logical volume LV that we'll do later. Okay, so I would just say I would include SDA2 and I would include SDA3. Okay, so you see, well, I have created volume group 1 successfully, including these two drives. Okay, so now if I say now these commands come into picture. vgdisplay. Okay, vgdisplay. So vgdisplay will display the information about the volume group. So it has, you see, now it is showing a combination of size, which is 592 MB. Okay. So if I just say PVS, which is physical volume, so I included 2 and 3, which means 496 MB and 96 MB, which is when clubbed together becomes 592 MB. Okay. Now we see there is one more drive available which is not part of VG. Okay, so I'll just include that also into this volume group. Okay, so I would just for that the VG extends comes into picture. VG extend, VG extend, VG name, and then you can include one more drive into. So this is how like dynamic things happening. You know, in the Go itself, you are adding one more drive to your volume group, right? So this is the advantage of volume LVM. Okay, so SDA4 I'm including into my volume group. So now if I do VG display, so it'll show you entire volume group, which is 968 MB, which was earlier 592 MB. Okay, so now my volume group has become 968 MB. Cool. So now my volume group is ready. If you say vgscan, it will give you like okay, so for volume group this pvscan, it'll scan all the physical volumes. So these are the commands you can use, pvscan, pvdisplay, or pvs for physical volumes. For volume group, you can use VGS, VGScan, or VGDisplay. Okay, and again for LV logical volume, you can use LVS, LVScan, or LVDisplay for more information on that. Okay, so my volume group is ready now. Okay, and it is comprising of three metadata area, and the total size of volume group is 968 MB. So my cake is ready. So what I'm going to do now is to cut a piece out of the cake, which will become the LV. Okay, so now I'll switch to my third step, which is the final step while in logical volume. Okay, so my volume group is created. Now let's create my logical volume, which is LV. So LV create. Okay, so LV create. LV create. So it takes again size of the LV that you want to create. Let's say 500 MB. Okay, 500 MB. And then so there are two options with L. I will tell you later. Okay, so and then the VG name from which you want to create, and then the see here if you don't specify the logical volume name, it will by default give it some name. See, logical volume LV VOL LVOL0 is created. Okay, and then there is one more way to create it is that minus L minus L, there is a lowercase which is, I'll tell you, so lowercase L is for physical extent, number of physical extent, and uppercase L, if you are using, you have to specify the exact size of the LV, okay, that you are creating. Okay, so I would say 400 MB, okay, and then VG1, and now you can specify the name of the LV also, so my LV2, okay, so you see some errors is coming. What is it? Okay, so you have to give MB, I think, in capital M. No, LV create. Oh, I'm sorry. I think. What is it? Error during passing of command line. Okay, so here you have to see this is for since I'm specifying the exact size, so I have to use the upper L. Okay, so now you see my LV2 was there already, so you can simply wipe it because I may have created it earlier. Okay, so now my LV is created, LV2 is created. So now let's just list out the logical volumes that we have created so far. So LV display. So if I do LB display, since I have created two logical volumes, so this is my first logical volume, lvol 0 is of size 500 MB, and this is my second logical volume, which is LV, my LV2, and again these both are a part of VG1, and the second LV is of size 400 MB. Okay, so this is how you create a logical volume. Okay, so now we will see now we'll see VGS. So VGS is like volume group information. So we still have 68 MB left. Okay, which is very small size, but yeah, like that is okay. So if I do VG display, so you see now out of 968 MB, all are used. So only 68 MB space is available, like which is 17 uh, physical extent. Okay, so what if I want to extend the LV? Okay, so if let's say I want to extend the LV. Okay, so you can also extend the LV at this moment itself. Okay, before creating any mount point. So LV extend. So let's just try to see the manual of LV extend. Okay, so what it says extend the size of a logical volume. Okay, so L size that you want to add. Okay, so which is exact size you have to specify. So lvextend size and then the logical volume name and then the what do you call extend the size of logical volume by 554 MB. Okay, yeah. So this is my VG1. Okay, so let's try to do this. Extend the size of this by amount of free space on physical volume. This is equivalent to specifying. Okay. So there are you can also specify this the size as a percentage also. So there are several ways to do that. So LV extend. So let me try that. LV extend. Uh, so let's say I would just extend by how many space we have available, like 68 MB. So 68, 67. Let's say 67 MB. My LV name is what? LV. What is it? So let's say I want to extend the LV of which one? Let's say I will extend LV lvol 0. So lvol 0. Okay. Um, right. So I think I have to give the exact path of LV, right? Okay. Copy. Hmm. So okay. Please provide a volume group name. Okay. So I have to specify the volume group also. So VG1, right? Oh, okay. Please provide a volume group name. Uh, Path required for logical volume. Okay, so I think I'm just missing the syntax here. So I have to specify the logical volume here. I think LV extend and then LV name and then I think 67 MB, then VG1, right? Okay, physical volume. No, no, no. Uh, so here I think it is taking VG1. Okay, physical volume. Okay, I'm just missing the syntax of LV extend. So let me just check it out quickly. So, so what is it? Physical volume 67 MB not found in volume group VG1. So it is taking VG1 And then is it like that? I'm not sure. Okay, VG1 not found. Mm-hmm. Oh, I think I need to have this VG1. Okay, I'm just missing the syntax of. I will just check it on Google. Like I'll quick I'll quick I'll quick I'll quickly check the syntax of logical volume extension. So extend, okay, okay, by 100 MB or something like that. So okay, just check. See, so yeah, so LV extend and then minus L the size and then the LV name, right? Okay, so I think that should work. Okay, let me try this, yeah, quickly. So, so what is it? And LV extend and then plus 60M and then my logical volume name, which is this one. Okay, let's put a volume group name. No. Okay, anyway, like I can do this LV extend in yeah, 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 let's just check it out quickly. Okay, so LV extend the volume group name. Okay, I was just size. Okay, so I have to give like minus L. Okay, so you have to give minus L volume group name. Okay, so see now this logical volume, my LV2, is changed from 400 to 460 MB. So this is how you can extend the size of a LV. Okay, so now we have done the extension of. So again, there comes the the LV reduce the size of LV that we will discuss later. Okay, so now since we have this LV with us, so we will start and create a mount point. Okay, so we'll create the actual use of the LV that we have created, because if you see now it won't appear in my file system. Okay, so first of all we'll make a file system. So make file system. Okay, and then uh, yeah, so what I'll do, so I'll do mkfs, which is to create a file system. So mkfs t ext3 ext4 also you can have, and then your lv, which is of, like, you can use any one of the two lv that we have. So now you see we have created the file system, okay, using this command. Okay, and then let's create the mount point where we want to uh, uh, use mount this file system. So I have this mnt, and inside that let's say a mount point 1. Okay, let's say mount point 2. Okay, so now you can simply mount the file system which we have created, and then this is your mount point. Okay, so you see you have mounted successfully. Now if you do df minus h, your lvm is successfully mounted to your mount point. Okay, and the lv size is of what, like the lv size is 400 and 460 60 MB, right? Yeah. So it is 460 MB. So we have successfully uh, mounted it, right? So this is how you can make use of your yeah. So you see, this is the total available size is 409 MB. Okay. So yeah, this is how you can create mount point and you can use LVM. Okay. So yeah, so this is all in this tutorial, and like if you find this tutorial and yeah, if you have any questions, please comment in the description, and that's all this tutorial. Thanks for watching. So and in my next tutorial, I will discuss about LV reduce and LV extend in more detail.